Hi friends, my name is Jen Rowland. I'm a writer and a certified coach, and I'm calling this video an invitation to grieve, naming our losses when living with chronic pain or illness. For those of you that know my story, I was diagnosed in 2021 with small fiber peripheral neuropathy, which causes burning pain. I have it in my legs, feet, and hands. And so as I was thinking about, what are some topics that I think would help the community that's dealing with pain and chronic illness, grieving came up as one of those. I think it's really, really important, whatever you're going through, whatever pain you're going through, that you grieve what was lost, that you're willing to cry the tears and go to the vulnerable place where you allow your pain to be seen, because this actually helps us move toward healing. Okay, now that might be a friend, a close friend, a counselor, a mentor, a family member. It doesn't have to be, a licensed professional counselor, but just having a place where we can share, maybe we need to share a little bit about our story, or just have a safe place where we can just be in the company of someone else that can provide us with comfort. But in living with a chronic illness, because many of you do also have neuropathy, there's definitely a letting go of our expectations and idealizations of what we thought maybe our life was supposed to look like, or what we envisioned our future would be. There's a letting go of our own self-sufficiency, as things that were once very easy become a lot more difficult. And there's also a letting go of anger and frustration and disappointment. Those feelings could be towards ourselves, or even towards others. It could be towards the medical community. I know for me, it was a lot of frustration that they had no idea that this was neuropathy for the first almost 2 years of my chronic pain journey. Some of us may be even angry at ourselves if something that we had done maybe contributed to the neuropathy or to the illness that we have. And so there's a lot of those feelings that can get pent up that we need to let go of. And part of that process is through grieving, okay, through going to that place where we can be honest with somebody else and we can cry those tears. There's also oftentimes a letting go of shame, anxiety, or confusion. Many people start to identify with their illness. They might take on a victim mentality, or they might find it as their new identity. And so there's that letting go of shame as we understand that our identity is not found in our diagnosis. There is a letting go of anxiety as we realize that we cannot grieve losses that haven't happened. And so if we're always anxious about the future, that is keeping us stuck. And instead, we need to be where we are and appreciate the things that we can do. And when it comes to confusion, so much confusion about perhaps the cause or the right treatment or the right doctor to see. And, that's where we really just have to take it one day at a time and surrender not having all the answers. There are some things that we may never know, and there are other things that we will only find out in the right time. And we have to trust that and just keep our eyes and ears open for how we are being led one day at a time to the answers and let them unfold, even though the timing that they unfold may not be, what we want. And that's part of that surrendering process. So find a safe person. My advice to you is find a safe person where you can name the things, first off, that the pain or the chronic illness has stolen from you. I know that's a strong word, but we probably feel that way, that I know I felt like it stole a lot of time. It stole doctor's appointments and testing and blood work and MRIs and injections. And, it stole a lot of money. It perhaps stole some of our hopes and dreams or travel plans. Definitely for me, comfort. There are times where I felt like it was stealing my joy, my energy, especially with side effects of medication, a pain-free lifestyle, an active lifestyle that I used to have prior to my diagnosis. Some of us may even feel like it's stealing our happiness. Okay, but to name that without judging ourselves or labeling those feelings as bad feelings is healthy. It's healthy for us to do that, to say, I feel like I've lost these things, and to acknowledge those losses, to say, you know what, I can't be the healthy, super fit mom that I thought I was going to be. And that's hard. Okay. And as the person that's listening, whether you're listening to someone else that's talking about their losses, or if you're just there to support a friend who's grieving, give them that space, okay, to be able to share what they've lost, okay, and just to listen and to say, perhaps even, gosh, that must be really hard. I'm really sorry. I think sometimes we try to relate it to our own experiences. I know I've done that and say, well, gosh, that reminds me of when I lost my, friend or my parent. And doing that is kind of stealing the space away from them. We don't want to do that. Okay. We don't want to try to one up them. Well, gosh, you only have neuropathy in your feet. Gosh, I have it on, my entire body. Those type of things invalidates their pain. But what you instead want to do is validate it, to listen and to say, that just sounds really awful. That sounds really hard. I am so sorry that you're going through that. And I'm here for you. I'm here for you to listen. So those are some things that just might help if you find yourself in a conversation. Remember that your experience is different than theirs. So even if you have the same diagnosis, chances are it affects you differently. So maybe refrain from saying, gosh, I know exactly how you feel, because chances are you don't know exactly how they feel. Because even if you have the same chronic illness or you experience the same type of pain, the situation around it, your relationships, how long you've had it, the intensity, all of those things could be different. So instead, just listen and say, I'm sorry. I know this must be hard. So having that space to share and giving someone else the space to share what they're going through is so important to be able to move towards healing. Okay, maybe you ask them, well, gosh, what is that like for you? Okay, what do you think it might take to be able to take a small step forward? What are some things that maybe I could help you with? Okay, bring them into community. Be a light for them. Be a source of encouragement for them. And I think that you will find that you will start to move through the grief when you've had the freedom to talk to somebody about what you're going through and how it's impacting you. I know for me, I was able to find someone who's now become a dear friend. Her name is Rosie, and we connected because we have the same diagnosis of small fiber neuropathy. But even though her situation was different, we were able to just in conversation to be able to share what we felt like we've lost. How are we going to persevere through this? We were able to encourage and lift each other up in prayer and just have that place to be able to grieve and to name our losses and to move towards healing. So I pray that you will have that as well, that you will seek out somebody else who can be that person for you so that you can move through your pain towards healing and wholeness. I hope that this was helpful. God bless.